Let's ready for Dr. Gordon Pedersen, who's gonna, this is his part. This is where you may really want to take down some serious notes. The rest of it is kind of a no-brainer, I hope. I hope you got it all. And if you didn't, guess what? In every single box of tape, there's this booklet that tells you everything I told you, okay? But Dr. Pedersen's is not that way. His is the science. I was how you do the program, and his is why did it work? Why did it work? Okay, will you please, Dr. Pedersen, I got to put some accolades up here because, you know, you were so modest, you didn't want me to put that you were a doctor, let alone all the things you've done. So I have them developing a slide that will be ready for California. Okay, here he is. Let's help welcome Dr. Gordon Pedersen.
Before Dr. Pedersen comes up, I do want you to know who he is.
Okay, good.
Because this guy's a big monkey muck, okay? You gotta know who you're listening to. Dr. Gordon Pedersen, there you go, is a clinical research doctor. He's a naturopath doctor. He's board certified in anti-aging medicine. He actually published a cure for malaria, and works with the foundation on that, and is a best-selling author. So give it up for Dr. Gordon Pedersen.
I'm glad you're here. I hope that this will be simple if I wander over here and wander back and forth, but I'm going to keep it to bullet points. This is the study. On this study, there's 3 parts I really like that I have yellowed out with a little highlighter. One is under results, so if those of you who have the study want to do this as well, you'll remember the most important parts.
Do they have a copy of the study?
If you don't have a copy of the study, they're in the back with sound concepts.
Okay.
I'll go very quickly on this because I feel like it's that important.
She's Xerox. Oh, perfect. She has copies.
If you'd hand them out, that would be
But
terrific.
this is the actual magazine. You're going to get the actual study.
So what this is a study, and the word study is lightly used. What that means is the American Academy of Bariatric Medicine. Those are medical doctors who went an extra 2 years to become weight loss specialists, and they have a journal, and they publish in this journal, and they review the journal for its correctness. For that reason, we call it a peer-reviewed medical journal. With that in mind, I'm going to read you the parts that I think are most valuable. Under results on page 1, it says, over a 12-week period, the average weight loss was 31.3 pounds. Why? Because everybody wants to know, what can I expect? Well, this is the average person. This is not the most extreme weight loss or the least weight loss. This is averaged. So it says the average weight loss was 31.3 pounds with an average reduction in waist circumference of 5.8 inches. Are you going to be buying new pants? Budget. Okay, that's how easy that is. Because people want to know, what am I going to lose? And you don't have to be the one to say it. Watch how easy this works. Amongst my doctor friends, we say like this. According to the American Academy of Bariatric Medicine, their journal published that the average weight loss will be 31.3 pounds and 5.8 inches around the waist. They'll talk to you and ask you questions if you'll listen from that point on. Then you can point to them all the rest of the answers. The other answers that really matter in here are under conclusion. So you're still on the front page at the very bottom in the left-hand corner. It says, successful weight loss was achieved by using a high antioxidant meal replacement made from raw unprocessed cocoa, along with a monitored program requiring accountability and lifestyle intervention changes. Now, why do doctors print articles like this? So that people don't say, I've got the perfect weight loss program for you, and hand you a bottle. This is not a product, this is a program. That's why people have such good benefits. With that in mind, those of you who have that know exactly where I would go for the 2 sentences that I think provoke a response. Under results, under conclusion, front page, bottom corner. With that in mind, You don't have to prove a thing. The article has been refereed by the agency to do such. Now, with that in mind, I'm going to find a way to get my face off of there. I'm going to go very quickly through some points. Now, these are not average, everybody has them, points that you want to always be teaching, but I hope they're going to be for you or for the person that you're here to help. There's a lot of causes of obesity. The definition of obesity is, it's a medical condition in which excess body fat has accumulated to the extent that it may have an adverse effect on health. So, accumulating body fat is what we all do. It's how we store food. But when it becomes a health threat, we start to call it obesity. In the medical world, 25% of your body being fat is called overweight. 30% of your body being fat is called obese. The reason why is because the one has more of the ability to cause problems to your health than the other. Overweight is a significant contributor to health problems. Every one of these has a medical journal documenting it, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through all the negatives. I'm going to hopefully focus on the positives. But you know that being overweight and accumulating too much fat leads to diabetes, to high blood pressure, to stroke, to heart attacks, even to cancers, and sleep apnea, gallstones, and yes, even death. For that reason, by losing weight, the reverse is true. So don't focus on, if you get a lot of weight, you might have these problems. The other is true. In fact, a medical journal suggests that the average person who has gained enough weight to be 25% body fat, when they lose the first 5 pounds, they have health benefits, and when they lose the first 10 pounds, they have a reduction in their blood pressure, and they suggest 50% reduction in getting diabetes for the rest of their life. Simply by losing the first 5 and 10 pounds, you're improving health, and those are published numerous times in medical journals. In addition, we have why ORAC is so valuable to weight loss. Why aren't we talking about the latest stimulant? Why aren't we talking about ephedras and caffeines and all these stimulants that just make your body temperature go up and you burn fat? And by the way, those do that, but they're not a good way to permanently lose weight. ORAC stands for Oxygen Radical Absorbance Capacity. Don't memorize that. ORAC is a term that we use to measure how powerful your antioxidant is. I'm going to show you a little bit of a demonstration here in a minute on what antioxidants can do. But what that means is it's just a measurement. And so you see all these other people that say, we have the highest ORAC value. And your brain goes, oh, that means they must have the highest antioxidant value. What does that mean? There's a whole lot of chemistry that's been written about it, but I think it's this simple. The ORAC rating helps you understand that an antioxidant is neutralizing a toxin. And you have a very powerful tool. In fact, the most powerful natural tool is the raw cocoa. You're taking it now. By putting it in your body, chocolate makes you get fat, right? Not true. It's the butter fat. It's the sugar that they put in the cocoa. None of that exists in this form of chocolate. This is cocoa, raw, unprocessed, highest rated ORAC value out there. So you are neutralizing toxins. The result is you reduce inflammation. And that means each individual cell in your body that's affected by that wonderful antioxidant that you're consuming in the cocoa form is shrinking. And that means your fat cells are shrinking. Wait, that can't be true. Cocoa can't be good for you. I heard that from doctors all over the place. The very same doctors who can't wait to get free samples now, by the way. Now, can I have somebody? Yes?
We're going to pass these around. Everyone that is a guest please feel free to take one. And for the distributors, we just don't want to run out.
Yeah.
So some of the guests haven't even tried this fabulous chocolate.
Okay, good.
And it's so delicious. So when he's talking about healthy chocolate, yeah, people think, ooh, I don't know if that's going to taste good. So we want you to be able to try it. So we're going to have the guests just real quickly stand up, and we're going to walk around and hand you one. So when he's doing this great experiment, you can see how great our chocolate tastes.
Thank
This
you.
happens to be the show biographer.
Will you stand? Thank you. So if you have not tried our chocolate, stand and we'll get it to you right now. And you know what? I know how to talk over the low roar, so that's okay. You can keep doing that. But what I'm doing up here is a quick demonstration of what antioxidants do, because most people say free radicals are poisons. They're neutralized by antioxidants. And that's about all they figure. So, if I might do a quick demonstration of that, Paul is going to hold a glass of a poison up. It's called Diet Coke. Isn't it funny how the first 3 letters in the word diet spell the word die? Paul has our Diet Coke. He's holding it out. Now imagine if this were a cell in your body. I know it's not round enough, but imagine if this poison got into your system, if you consumed a healthy chocolate or acai or blueberry or any of these antioxidants, what's going to happen? Well, I'm going to show you right now in a quick demonstration. This is the poison. Yep, I have it right here. It says Delta on it. This is the poison. Anybody argue that Diet Coke is not a poison? Okay, it is. It can hurt you over time. If you put teeth in there, they'll dissolve over 2 months. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm taking a little powder. It's my little antioxidant. I'll tell you what it is later. And if you watch what's happening, it's neutralizing. And imagine if this was happening in your cell. And it's just going to sit and neutralize the toxin and do something to it. It binds it up. How many of you heard that word? It binds up the toxin. Look at what's happening. Watch when he pours that liquid out. It's not even a liquid. It's all bound up and it can't hurt you anymore. That's what antioxidants do. They bind up the poisons and they stop the toxin from hurting you anymore. So, you can drink it if you want, but what is this antioxidant that I'm using for my demonstration? You know why he brought the garbage can up. What is this powder that neutralizes 100 times its own volume? It's called sodium polyacrylate. You know it as what goes in disposable diapers. The kind that absorb and neutralize the water so it doesn't pour out all over the place. So what you have, and he'll pass that around and you can just play with it and touch it, is a simple way inside of a cell to neutralize a toxin, and it changes it by binding to it. Did you see a simple demonstration? Inside the cells in your body, they need this. Oh, he didn't pass this around. I'm going to. No. Just play with it, pass it around. Everybody that had their chocolate loves it, right? I know that was a loaded question. We're going to get to the whys here some more. This is a slide that shows the different levels of antioxidants, and notice that the raw cocoa is the highest, meaning you have the highest ability of any of the natural substances that exist to neutralize the most poisons. That means it's going to shrink tissues, including fat cells. It's really rather remarkable. We're going to go into a little bit more of that in detail here that I skipped it. Why flavonoids? Now, there's over 4,000 polyphenols, so please don't memorize them. Polyphenols are an antioxidant. Flavonoids are an antioxidant. So the word antioxidant is about as technical as you need to get. But they're divided into polyphenols, and you know why they work? And anytime you see parentheses down here, you can see that I got these from medical journals. This is the proven science. These are important because the flavonoids give flavor to a plant. They also give it color. And the darker the color, the better it is for your heart and your arteries. And people are saying all over the world now, this raw chocolate, this healthy chocolate helps your heart and your arteries? Absolutely. How does it do it? It takes the poisons out of your arteries. Do we get poisons in our arteries every day? We do. We produce alcohols and we have sugars and we have yeast and they mix together. And we can neutralize those and we can keep the damage from becoming so prolific by taking these antioxidants. Why do we take these polyphenols and why are they so valuable in weight loss? They shrink every single cell. They shrink the abnormal inflammation that's been caused by a poison or a toxin. There's over 4,000 of these polyphenols. They affect every cell and they affect the way cells signal each other. Our cells talk to one another and they do it through cytokines and hormones and immune cells. And what that means is, if one part of the body starts becoming swollen, it's dumping these toxins into the body, and the message goes out throughout the body, kind of like the alarm for the fire department, out come more immune cells. By slowing down that process, we keep our fat cells from overinflating and sending signals that, hey, it's time to store fats. Inflammatory enzyme activity is also modulated or normalized. And the sensitivity of your cells is reduced. What that means is, diabetics, for instance, have cells that have become too reactive to sugar because too much sugar has been in there all the time. By helping to modulate or normalize that sensitivity, the body doesn't respond so aggressively and there isn't so much hypo or hyperglycemia. In other words, sugar spikes up, followed by an hour and a half later by the depression and the down. What this is doing is helping to normalize the sensitivity between the cells because there's less inflammation. So inflammation is a bad guy, and we're helping to reduce it. Polyphenols are anti-inflammatory, and they work at the cellular level. One cell at a time, we're going to help you keep fat cells normal. Can fat cells get really large? Yeah, they even have a name for it. It's called lipoma, like a lipid cell, and oma, meaning it's overgrown. It doesn't even have to be cancerous. They can just overgrow. We're going to help keep those under control. Polyphenols reduce inflammatory effects such as coronary artery disease and wrinkles in your skin. So here's an idea. Did you realize that inside your heart you've got arteries that deliver blood to the heart muscle itself? If you clog one of those and you deprive the heart muscle of blood, it's going to be called a heart attack and you'll be just crippled with pain. But we can help keep that inflammation down because almost every single heart attack not only may be associated with fats clogging the artery, but it's associated with inflammation. If you were to take a hand and just hold it up and smack it a few times, this is what phlebotomists do to make the veins stand up and puff up. Do you see how the veins respond very quickly, if you do that to yourself, to the inflammatory responses? How nice it is that antioxidants help keep that response minimized so that you're not clogging an already partially clogged artery on the heart. That's why it's been working in arteries and heart attacks and strokes. I know I have to turn around every time, don't I? Free radical theory of aging. Well, since antioxidants neutralize free radicals, what's a free radical, by the way? Did we elect one this last presidential election? I'm in trouble now. Dang. Actually, in Utah, I'm okay. It's just Iowa. We'd have been in big trouble. Okay. With this free radical theory, it goes like this. The theory is that organisms age because the cells accumulate free radical damage over time. If I were to pour gas on your hand once a day, every day it might not look like much, but after a week it'd start to be dry, and after 2 weeks it'd look worse, and after a month you might have dry, cracked, bleeding, rashy hand. That's the free radical theory of aging. If we neutralize those toxins that are circulating through our body in the forms of sugars and alcohols and yeast and bacteria, if we can neutralize that inflammation, are we actually being anti-aging in nature? Will the tissues live longer and be healthier and regenerate better? Yes, yes, yes. And that even works in weight loss, and we've shown that now in these studies. Fat cells can be free radicals. With that in mind, these antioxidants are going to help neutralize the inflammatory response, and at the same time you can exercise, you can drink water, and you can do all the healthy lifestyle programming, and you're getting about 20% more benefit cell by cell at reducing the inflammation of an inflammatory or an over-fat stored cell. Fat can be mobilized and metabolized out of the body using polyphenols. So just because your fat around your belly gets mobilized and it gets to a muscle where it can be burned, it produces a toxic byproduct that has to be cleansed out of the system. Kind of like exhaust gases coming out of a gas motor, we still have to clean those up. Polyphenols are what the body uses to help do that. So you're actually detoxifying the bloodstream at the same time you're having weight management. Quercetin, for instance, it's just a vitamin. Did you know they take liquid quercetin, and because of its antioxidant properties, they inject it every quarter of an inch in a part of your body, and that fluid gets into the fat, liquefies the fat, neutralizing those toxins, and they actually, over the next few days, dissolve away the fat. Well, that's the program I want, right? Now, how many needles was that? Never mind, right? But the point I'm making is this is a good example of it has been proven. It is currently in our lifestyle. This is not just brand new chocolate works, we're just making this all hype. These are all medical journals that I'm talking about. For instance, this one came from Molecular Nutrition and Food Research. In addition, we want to talk about what causes this problem. So we're causing obesity. Are you training your body to become obese? Wow. And those people who are, 99% of them don't know it. Most of the time, the people that are training their body to become obese, they don't really recognize why. Genetically, I was just born this way, my parents are this way, that's it, I'm going to be this way. Hogwash. How many people have you seen in a family where 6 of the kids are overweight and there's one that's not? And that one exercises, and that one does the right lifestyle things. It's not, I'm born this way, I have to live this way. It's not your destiny. Sedentary lifestyle. We know by being sedentary, we train our bodies to store fat. Lack of sleep. Lack of sleep is a terrible, terrible thing because it mobilizes the hormones that make my sore throat. My throat sore. Here we go.
No one drank that.
So see, I'm getting an inflammatory response right now. Sedentary lifestyle, lack of sleep, malnutrition, dehydration, internal toxins, constipation, stress, inflammatory responses of all kinds cause your body to store weight. Anytime you're under stress, your body thinks it's going to be attacked. It stores weight. It holds fluids. You cannot lose fat during those time periods. Weight loss is a program, not a product. How many agree with that? Those of you who know my background know that I have a medical background as a clinical doctor in anti-aging medicine, as a research doctor, and as a naturopathic doctor. I'm also board certified in wound healing. So I have a lot of different disciplines that I have studied. And my philosophy comes down to this one sentence. I believe the body will heal itself if you give it the proper tools. Problem is, we don't spend enough time learning what those tools are. We don't spend enough time learning how to apply those tools. So tonight we're going to go very quickly through some of those, and hopefully you'll take them with you if they apply to you. And by the way, the worst thing that you can do to promote training your body to become obese is to be dishonest with yourself. I won't gain weight by eating that. I'll get up early in the morning. I'll sleep. I promise I'll exercise while I'm on the cruise after every meal. See where I'm going with this? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to be honest with yourself, or the program won't work as well. I put this together and I call it the essence of weight loss. ESSENCE, where each letter stands for one principle that was proven in our weight management study. What this means is E means you need to eat and drink correctly. 8 glasses, even 12 glasses of water a day. Sleep correctly, meaning about 7.5 to 9 hours a day. Supplement with the shake and bake. Why? It's got the science that you need to give you proper nutrition, promote muscle mass, and burn the most fat in a healthy, permanent weight loss style. E is for exercise regularly. When I say exercise, I think brisk walking is the best thing you can do for weight management. N, neutralize intestinal toxins and germs, and this means sometimes you're going to have to change your diet. If you realize that all of us have yeast in our intestines, and if you continue to feed it sugars, you're going to continue to promote toxin buildup that will not allow weight loss as easily. So we're going to change diets. C stands for communicate regularly. This is where Dr. Kennedy's call as a health coach is so valuable. When I went back and looked at all the weight management studies, I found that the most successful studies always came in the programs that had accountability to someone else. Why? It's like this. If you get a call 10 o'clock Saturday night and your friend who's trying to lose weight calls you and says, I'm sitting at the restaurant, I've got chocolate cake in front of me with my favorite ice cream, talk me out of it. Will you? You may or you may not, but you'll talk about it and you'll next week have a discussion on why you're not going to do it next time. And if you're accountable to somebody and you like and respect that person, chances are good that you'll respond better. Eliminating stress, because while you're under stress, your body is in shock, your blood sugar changes, your hormones send the message out that we're storing all the fats we can because we don't know when we're going to get fed next because we're under stress. Essence, ESSENCE, here's the short version. Eat, sleep, supplement, exercise, and neutralize toxins, communicate regularly, and eliminate stress. Is that an easier way to summarize a whole bunch of big medical words? I hope it helps. If you don't want that, there's the medical journal article that covers all of those. Causes of obesity. When I took all the studies and laid them all out on the floor, put them into categories, there's really only 3 things that change dramatically weight loss. One is diet, one is exercise, and one's behavior modification. All 3 of them are in this program. It's up to you to decide you're going to do it, you're going to have a plan, and you're going to be accountable to somebody. Eat and drink. Here's some reasons we want you to eat and drink correctly. First of all, 1,200 calories is the amount of calories women are going to take on this program. Men are going to take 1,500. How much is a normal day's calories? Who said that? 2,000. Teacher's pet. That's great. Nobody's ever got that right before. 2,000 calories is the normal amount. So you're not starving yourself so abruptly that you're absolutely going to be dying of hunger. You're going to reduce common sense amounts. Now, I've participated in formulating other products. Some are drugs and some are supplements for a long time. HCG has been out there for the last couple of years, and people come up to me and they're so pleased when they've lost all of this weight in this short amount of time. It's always, look, I lost 25 pounds in 30 days. Look at me, I lost 20 pounds in only 18 days. I hear this all the time. Well, you know, I went to the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine, and I introduced the speaker, because I'm the chairman of that branch of medicine. I introduced the speaker on HCG. She walked in, and we had booked her to give the talk because she lost 27 pounds in 30 days. And she's a medical doctor, and she's an endocrinologist, and she treats diabetes, and she couldn't be happier. So 4 months later, she gets a chance to speak in front of the audience, all the medical doctors. See, she did such a great success with HCG, she starved herself 500 calories a day, she lost all this weight, and 4 months later, she now gets a chance to present. She walked out on stage in a set of sweats. stood with her arms out and said, "Yes, it's true, I lost 27 pounds in 30 days. In the last 4 months, I've gained 80 back." She said, "I'll tell you how it works and why, and I'll also tell you that being too abrupt and losing 5 to 7 pounds a week every week will train your body to overstore fat. I'm the example. That's why we don't do 500 calories. We could get you to lose weight a lot faster. We're looking at permanent weight loss with wisdom." Eat and drink. Eating too much fat, carbohydrates, and sugar is the eating part I want to bring up. Americans have a diet that's just fats and carbohydrates, and basically when we give you a meal replacement like this one, we're just giving you what your body needs and taking away what we're overdosing on. We're overdosing on sugars and fats, so instead we're giving you the proteins and the healthy nutrients your body needs. We also make mistakes when we eat socially. Who knows someone that eats socially? Don't raise your hand, I know, everybody knows somebody. You're going to start making a journal and you're going to start saying, these are the times when I was not going to eat that cheeseburger, fries, and shake, but this was what my kids took me to do at 10:30 at night, and they're all teenagers and they teased me until I did it anyway. Whatever the case is, learn from it. That's why you have another person to help you. When you make a mistake, you know what, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that again. And they'll help you remember. Otherwise, you'll forget it. Other ways we train ourselves to get fat, we eat too fast. Eat, don't chew enough. Eating too much. What happens here is you're dumping so much food into your body and your body's processing the sugar so fast, your body's insulin levels are responding adversely. What that means is, if you eat a lot of sugar really fast or a lot of food really fast, the pancreas responds by dumping out a lot of insulin really fast. And an hour and a half later, so much insulin, which is a hormone, has gathered up all the sugars and you end up with none left in your body and this huge craving for more. And it goes through a cycle of more and less and more and less and more and less. And you train yourself to stay there unless you make a plan to get out of it. Eating too many toxins like sugars, starving all day, and then eating a large meal is training your body to overstore fat. Here's why. If you don't eat breakfast because you're being good, and you don't eat lunch because I'm just going to keep myself from gaining weight, I'll just skip. But at dinner, well, I've skipped breakfast and lunch so I can have Thanksgiving dinner. You know what I'm talking about, right? That is the fastest way to tell your body, I have fasted for 3/4 of the day. My body has decided it's going to start storing everything it has to, because it might not get fed again. Oh, but at the same time, I'm going to eat the biggest volume meal I can possibly give it and store extra fat. It's better to eat a healthy breakfast, a healthy lunch, a healthy dinner, and have a snack in between, which consists of, my favorite is the show-size Showbiotic. Why? It contains healthy chocolate with a dose of probiotics. I think antibiotics are the enemy here. We'll tell you about that in a minute. And it contains fiber. So I like that one as one of my choices. With that in mind, let's take a look at that. Dehydration, very quickly. When your body is 3% reduced in its water volume, that's only a half a gallon. When you're a half a gallon low on water, your metabolism slows to a creeping crawl. You won't lose any weight. And it overstores fat at the same time. You want to train your body to store fat? Eat 1 meal a day, fast the rest of the day, and be dehydrated. At 1% reduction, which is what, 1.5 pints of fluid that you're down, 1% reduction of water leads to, here's the symptoms if you're dehydrated. Dry mouth, number 1. I have that dry mouth and I'm starting to get a thick tongue. The next thing it leads to is a dull headache right here in the front. And that is because it's starting to affect your memory and cognition. Because the next step is confusion. So when you start noticing you get that dry lip, thick tongue, that dull headache, get a drink of water. In addition, it takes 22 ounces of water to wash out 1 ounce of fat metabolically. By the way, if you're dehydrated, your body goes in a different energy pathway and you burn muscle, not fat. So let's stay hydrated. 37% of people when they are hungry, are actually thirsty. They're but 30. I was getting an anti-aging program for some of us there. What that means is when you feel like you're really, really hungry, and you go ahead and eat, and 1 hour later, you don't know why, but you're compulsively eating again, and 1 hour later, you're compulsively eating again, you're dehydrated. Here's how you curb that. When you feel hungry and you go to the fridge and you do that grazing thing where you stand there and you don't know why, but you're going to go shopping for whatever looks good, and none of you do it, I know, but I do. Anyways, you go in there, reach for the water. Drink a pint of water, that's not too much, a cup of water. Wait 20 minutes. If you're still hungry, you're actually hungry. Go ahead and eat something healthy. If not, you'll go, oh my heck, all that time I've been misjudging my thirst for hunger and overeating and not being able to stop because of it. So drink that glass of water, wait 20 minutes, and then go ahead and deal with your hunger. In addition, sleep deprivation causes obesity. Not the only thing it does, but it causes it in the following journal articles. Sleeping rests the body and helps balance your hormones. When you're not rested, your body is pumping hormones through your body. And some of those hormones aren't good for you. They're stress hormones, and they pack on the weight. Some of them consume muscle. Sleep deprivation causes hormone imbalances that trigger fat storage. So how do we balance? We sleep and we exercise. Those are the two best ways to balance hormones. I'm not talking about menopause yet, but it also has a major important play there as well as with depression. During sleep, you can burn up to 3 pounds. Gosh, don't you like the anti-stress sleep diet and chocolate? This is starting to have a play here I'm liking. So we took these men and we put them into a chamber where we weighed them exactly, put them into a normal sleeping condition, and 8 hours later we weighed them and they were losing 3 pounds a night. Were they burning fat? Some of them were losing water. Some of them had a big yellow ring around them. No, I'm kidding. Some of them were evaporating water. But the point I'm making is, if you're not sleeping, you're missing a good chance to help your body slow down, normalize its hormones, and burn fat normally. In a study with college-age kids, they took these kids and they deprived them of sleep 4 hours a night. So, imagine these 21-year-olds, and they're only allowed to sleep 4 hours a night. We call that normal college experience, right? In a clinical setting, they did that for 7 nights in a row. Did you know that every single one of them tested positive for diabetes by the end of the week? Sleep deprivation changes hormones to the point where they were testing positive. Now, how did we reverse that? In 2 days, they slept 12 hours a night for 2 days, totally reversed everything back to normal. Your body's miraculous. It will heal itself if you give it the proper tools. The next part of this is we want to supplement because 95% of us don't get enough food or nutrition from the foods that we eat. That's from the United States Department of Agriculture. So a healthy meal replacement would include nutrition, and that's what's in our meal replacement. A bariatric study has 50 out of 50 that were successful. Jeanette covered this really well, but bullet points. The average weight loss was 31 pounds, 100% kept it off a full year, polyphenols or antioxidants in the cocoa reduced the free radicals, which means it was helping reduce the inflamed fat. In addition, it's like deflating fat cells. I know, one cookie at a time. Okay, sorry. Anyways, I had to be a little bit silly there. With that in mind, sedentary lifestyle is not good for us. We train our bodies to store fat. Did you realize they've done a study on these kids that are gamers and sit in front of the TV all day? And they found that while you're watching TV, you burn less calories than when you're asleep. Wow. That is, your brain has been tuned into a frequency and it has been taken over so much of your body's metabolism that you really need to get up and move around a little bit more if you're a TV fan, that much. The appetite hormones, leptin and ghrelin, are both adversely affected when you do not exercise, but when you do, we can normalize. What does that mean? People who regularly exercise have control of their appetite better. Blood sugar, and this is important because when a person exercises, even a 20-minute walk, they change the levels of the hormone aldosterone, which helps normalize blood pressure. In addition, exercise is valuable because you don't produce as much cortisol, and you help neutralize or normalize the cortisol that is in your system after a good exercise. The master gland of all your hormones is called the thyroid gland. Many, many, many people have thyroid disorders. Many of them because they're inactive, and that's one of the contributing factors. Exercise helps in balancing that as well. Histamine. How many know what antihistamine is? Most people know they spray it in their nose and their sinuses shrink and they don't have clogged nose anymore. Why? We reduce the inflammation. That's exactly some of the effects your body's going to have. Only imagine taking our product and having these antioxidants work like an antihistamine on your fat cells. That's kind of the idea. Exercise burns fat, stimulates metabolism, increases energy, mobilizes something called euphoric hormones. Your brain feels terrific. It tells your body it does too. And it gives these benefits for 18 continuous hours after you exercised. So if you hate it, you don't want to do it, you ache, you're sore, remember that even 10 minutes of walking briskly has a benefit for 18 more hours. Normalizing hormones, giving your body the tools it needs to normalize itself.